Hello guys, it's JongLi here and I'm back with another online commentary battle for Rome Total War. This time it's actually at FFA and was a pretty fun, pretty cool FFA I played this Saturday. So there are I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in this FFA. I'm playing as the Armenians. We have the Outlier as the JongLi Romans, who I'm attacking right now. Son of Hanni, which is not Hannibal Barker. It's just some random guy, I think. DMX as the Parthians, and paladinbob as the Carthaginians. So what happened was paladinbob and the Parthians are going to face off here. Macedon thought this was an last man standing FFA, so he's trying to camp one of the sides, and I'm basically trying to get a very quick hit on the Outlier, mass route him, and then go and try and kill Macedon and get those kills, because this is a scored FFA. Now, I want to comment on the morale of the cataphracts. It seems to be pretty terrible. On the charge, one of my cataphracts already routed with 39 men. It does come back, but it's pretty stupid, to be honest, and you'd expect a much better morale from such an expensive cav unit. Really what they've got going for them though is their stats, and as you can see in the melee, I've already routed one unit of these Praetorian cavalry. I've got my archers firing into these urbans here, and I've engaged my heavy spearmen. I was hoping for the very quick knockout on his cavalry, but his cavalry seems to be very heavily upgraded, so I'm not going to be able to do it as quickly as I wanted to, and these heavy spearmen, I'm just going to snail them up. I really should be running them, so there were some errors there. Some Roman archers here routing because they were out of skirmish mode, so they didn't run, and my spears managed to catch them. I'm going to be able to get a nice charge here and hopefully rout a few more of these urban cohorts, but he's put a lot of money into these urban cohorts and they're not going to rout anytime soon. So I'm going to pull out here and try and regroup my guys. Let's have a look at the other parts of the battlefield. The Senate hasn't moved much at all from his starting position. I believe he's heading towards the Macedonians. The Carthaginians just started to deploy their Numidian mercenaries against the Parthians. So most of the action is happening here right now. The Roman archers have come back, and he's trying to put them back into the fray, trying to get them to shoot. For some reason, I don't know why, he runs them back in and they just rout instantly. He really should be shooting, not charging them in like in a melee. So here my heavy spearmen are getting wrecked. I really should not be engaging with my heavy spearmen. I should really be, you know, trying to preserve them at this point, but I was being dumb and I didn't do that. So I tried to get a charge in here, but it does nothing. My cataphracts are tired. And yeah, I think he did turn his guys around in time, so unfortunately I did not get the route there either, and I was really hoping for a very quick mass route on JongLi and then being able to swing over with a lot of guys left towards the Macedonians, which are still hold up here, and I believe someone just told him it was scored, so now he's moving out. DMX has not really done anything. It looks like these Numidian mercenaries have gotten caught actually, and so one unit has gone down there, but he still has this one unit, and we'll see what he can do with those. And for his cap component, it looks like he's got some sacred band, no upgrades though, so he'll have to be very careful about engaging these. These won't last very long at all against the Parthian cataphracts with their high upgrades. He's got a lot of slingers and very high quality infantry, a lot of spearmen, so that'll be very good in the late game. Because infantry, you can rest them, and they don't have to run around as much, because they can fight stationary. So what I'm doing now is I'm skirmishing against these urbans. A lot of my heavy spearmen have routed. Only this one unit comes back. Again, I really should have pulled my heavy spearmen out of there when it was looking rough and just shot with my archers, but I did not do that. And now I have to pay the price, and basically I'm doing that now. My archers are getting some very nice shots in. I'm getting a lot of kills on these urbans. I'm shooting the backs. I could probably get some better angles, but I didn't really bother. I was chasing the archers off, so I did get some really nice kills on the archers with my cataphracts. The problem with the cataphracts is that they tire really quickly, so chasing these archers actually has taken its toll, and they are tired. He has testudoed though, and I believe I eventually stopped shooting because this is such a waste of arrows. So it looks like the Romans have finally started to advance a bit faster on these Macedonians, and these Macedonians are basically very cheap kills. If you can see what he's done, he's brought levy pikemen, royal pikemen, and phalanx pikemen. I believe he just brought 6 of each, and they've all got very minimal upgrades, and he's just got this one Cretan archer unit. I think he does have a few units hidden here and there though, so this probably isn't even his full force. Over here, Parthia taking a chunk out of paladinbob here, catching some of his long shield cavalry, and this is not looking good for paladinbob. He really doesn't want these engagements where his cav has to go one-on-one. And these archers also doing work on these infantry here, and we'll see what Parthia can do against Bob with what resources he's got. Here I'm still trying to rest up my guys and position them nicely for a charge on these testudo units. I really don't want to rush it, because if I rush it, he busts out of testudo and catches my cataphracts, and it will mean the end of my army, because my army hinges on these cataphracts being successful. He untestudos them and starts running them around towards my cataphracts. He recognizes that this is the threat right now. I pull back and I turn my arrows on again, so I'm shooting him again, and again he stops and sort of testudos up. SPQR is still advancing onto Macedon. It looks like these hillmen were engaged with the Sacred Band to try and stall their advance, but it hasn't done much. These cataphracts getting hacked to pieces by the Sacred Band pikes, and that is going to rout. So that was kind of a waste. And these archers still shooting, but he really should have them in skirmishment. He really should be running them away. Looks like one unit almost gets caught there, very close. Looks like this armored Eastern general is doing work against these Sacred Bands, so paladinbob needs to be very careful, because he could potentially lose this fight here. And also the Minecraft DMX not really doing what it should, and these isolated Libyan spearmen not getting taken out. So I've gone in for a charge now onto the JongLi. It looks like this urban cohort did rout due to the fire arrows. I got a nice wedge charge through the center, and that's going to be the end of the JongLi. So I've got some nice kills there. It's nice to know that these urbans are very, very heavily upgraded, so these are quality kills even if it's not quantity kills. And in squad resolution, that's very important, because even if you take out, a quarter of these guys, if I just take out, 1 or 2 units of these gold at least urban cohorts, that does push my score up quite a bit more actually. So you have to be very careful when you're doing these, and chasing routing units is such an important thing. Like these urban cohorts, very valuable kills, gold, silver, I think. Very, very important kills, and you have to get these kills, or because especially against high quality armies, every kill counts. Against these low quality armies, not so much, because one kill does not matter as much as one kill against a gold urban, whereas these are just like bronze, I don't know, levies and stuff like that. So looks like Tux has engaged his urbans on the front. These wall of pikes just pushing them back. It looks like the urbans can't get through, and Tux is going to have to do some work with these Praetorian cav. It looks like some cavalry auxilia have been sent here to scout, and he has revealed some of these pikes that he had hidden, and I believe he's going to move these pikes towards the main battle now and try and stop Tux from doing too much damage to him. Tux does have these archers here, and what he really should be doing is getting a nice line. Well, they should be in tight formation. He should be putting them here, getting some nice flank shots, back shots on these phalanx pikemen. Flaming arrows would do great work. They have low armor from the back. They can't do anything, and there's so many archers, but he's shooting from the front, and that's not what he wants, not what he should be doing. Tux also glitching out with his Praetorian cavalry, which is a bit unfortunate, but he really shouldn't be using them aggressively at this point. He really should be using his archers a lot better, and he isn't doing that, so that works in my favor, actually, because I want him to get destroyed on the Macedonians, and the Macedonians are doing a surprisingly good job with their low-quality troops. A charge goes in here. I kind of expected the Macedonians to rout, and one of them does, but it looks like these pikes are there are just too many of them for the cav to do much work. Again, these archers, very crucial, and he's not using them as effectively as he should be. I think this was like at his Achilles heel. He's just spraying these arrows into the front, and it is doing damage, but it's, you know, it could be so much more. So it does leave a bit to be desired for Tux. Over here, paladinbob is kind of boxing up against these Parthians. The Parthians, the micro really not working for DMX. DMX has a lot of idle units. These long shield cav, these Balearic slingers, DMX really should be doing things with them, and DMX also getting a lot of units just caught out by these slingers. And again, you can see some very expensive cataphract units running off the field just because they were, had a few volleys thrown into the backs. I'm resting up my guys here. These cataphracts are very, very tired. I need to rest them up before I can even consider engaging like any of these guys. Again, so many. These archers have free reign, and he's not using them. Son of Hanni has no cav whatsoever, so these archers can walk wherever they want, and they will not get caught. But Tux does not see this. He's too focused with his cav, and this is doing damage to him. This is hurting his chances of winning. These cav, with every charge that doesn't work, their numbers go down, and Macedon gets more kills, which should not be happening. These light cav also not doing much. He should be, moving them around more, coordinating them a bit better. And these archers, again, like, this becomes a very big problem in the late game, and you'll see what happens when he runs out of arrows. But over here we can see finally some progress made by Tux. It looks like some of his cav charges have started to take effect, and these archers are doing work, but his general routes, and that's such a big blow to Tux, because his general would be really useful in shoring up morale in the late game. But these levy pikes now, and these pikes now, I'll just say, these phalanx pikes, levy pikes, royal pikes, they've done their work against the urban cohorts, and you can see that only one urban cohort unit is left. These cav units charging in, getting a bit of a rout, and actually getting a mass rout. This is insane, because Son of Hanni just, missed the timing. He didn't get his pikes down in time, and it means that Tux has managed to mass rout him, and this is a lot of kills. Just look at these cheap kills, very easy kills for Tux to get. He's got light cav, he's got a lot of cav left. He can easily chase these guys down. Some of the pikes have returned, but really Tux is gone. He's out of the game, he's been knocked out, and he's no longer a force to be contended with. These archers still shooting at these routing units when really he could just leave it to his cav. So again, wasting arrows, and it hasn't happened yet, but eventually these archers do run out of arrows, and a lot of it was wasted on these very cheap units that could have been used elsewhere. So I'm advancing here. My guys did glitch a bit in this patch. I managed to pull them out though, luckily, and I'm going to start advancing towards Tux. Tux has done an okay job of getting rid of these Macedonian pikes, but again, like, not using his archers to their full effectiveness really hurt him, and he could have used a lot less arrows and routed the Macedonians in a lot less time if he just positioned them properly and put them in tight formation. It would have been, it was a golden opportunity. I'm really unsure why he did not do that. These Parthians have been taken out though, and it looks like paladinbob has gotten the better of the Parthians. The micro there really hurting DMX. He did not do enough with the cataphracts, and he was just caught out on so many occasions. When he was spread out, the slingers caught some of his cataphracts. They got stoned to death. The Sacred Band, even the Libyan Spearmen did work against the cataphracts, and his hillmen obviously did not help him at all. But The unfortunate thing for Paladin Bob is because all his cav has been taken out, he got in those 1v1 engagement that he should have wanted to avoid. He got into those 1v1 cav engagements with the cataphracts. His cav was not there, and he cannot chase down any units. These infantry are too slow. They're not going to be able to catch any units. So unfortunately, he did not get as many kills as he could have against the Parthians, and that's very detrimental in an FFA where kills are basically, you know, your only shot at winning. You need to get those quality kills. I'm sending out this one unit of 4 cataphracts to chase down these urban cohorts, and again, these urban cohorts very nicely upgraded. I think these are silver, at least urban cohorts. So every time I kill a bunch of these are nice kills, nice quality kills that I need to stay in the game. I'm very scared right now because I have the weakest army of the 4 that are still in the game. Arguably the weakest. I think DMX is pretty close. But DMX is going to get attacked by Tux at this point, and there isn't much he can do. His cataphracts are tired. Some of them, actually, they're not that tired. But Tux is going to face off against DMX. DMX does not have much choice but to take this engagement, unfortunately for him. So he will probably lose his cataphracts at this point. Paladin Bob still has a very strong infantry component though, and he can bring this back. He can make up the kills he lost for not chasing the Parthian units by taking out Tux's units. So he still has a shot in this game. Tux also still has a shot, but these Roman archers, some of them have run out of arrows, and that's going to hurt his chances against Paladin Bob, who has a very infantry heavy army and like quite a few stones left on these slingers. And with cab heavy armies of Tux and myself, it's going to be very difficult to get many kills on Bob at all. So what happened here was I charged my remaining 3 cataphract units in loose formation at these archers, and they routed on contact because these archers, there were just too many of them, and the morale for these cataphracts was more abysmal than I thought. As soon as I charged them in, they routed, and some of them have come back, but they're not going to be nearly as effective as they were before. I charged them at these archers, again hoping to get some kills, but these archers, even though they're very tired, and my cataphracts are only tired, they don't seem to rout very quickly, and they can somehow hold their own against my cataphracts. And with this unit of urbans coming in, and Tux coming back to save his archers, I'm not going to have much of a shot at getting many more kills. I do manage to rout this unit of archers, but and that is some nice kills, but Tux is going to be able to catch my cataphracts out, and that is more kills for him. These archers over here, they are very low on ammo. This one's run out, this one's run out. A lot of them have run out of ammunition, and that's because he spent so much on the Macedonians. I'm trying to pull these Praetorian Cav to my pike unit. I know I'm probably not going to last much longer, but I'm determined to get as many kills as I can with what I've got. So I'm just going to get some shots off on these Praetorian Cavalry. Nice expensive cavalry. Should get me some kills. I'm going to get caught out this heavy spearman. The morale's just too bad. Didn't get my pikes down. Managed to engage. Get some more archer shots in. I throw in the rest of my Praetorians and just hope I get the kills I want, basically. But unfortunately for me, my archers do die very, very quickly, and I'm not able to get much more out of my army. So that's it for me. That's going to be my scorecard right there. And again, if Tux chooses to chase my units around, he'll get a lot of quality kills as well from that. Looks like Paladin Bob has rested up his guys. Is walking towards Tux. Tux chasing a few of these units here, getting some very nice kills, and he's also chasing some units here. But surprisingly to me, I thought he would chase these units off the field. I mean, this unit's still got 50 guys; it could still come back. But he elects not to chase them off the field, so that was a bit strange to me. A lot of nice kills here that he could have gotten. Paladin Bob can't really push very aggressively with the Sacred Band because they are too slow and they can't really catch the Cav, and also it would leave his slingers exposed. So it's very unlikely that Paladin Bob will go for any sort of super aggressive push against or be able to go against Tux. So Paladin Bob is on the defensive here, and Tux is on the offensive because he wants those kills on Paladin Bob. So I'm very perplexed as to why he didn't attack these archers here, these heavy spearmen. Even getting this cataphract is very nice, and looks like Tux is solely focused on Paladin Bob. At this point, I thought that I had no chance of winning. I'd only taken out the JongLi. I had cleaned up the JongLi though. I think I killed almost every single unit in the JongLi army, and I had killed some of the routing units of Tux. So I didn't expect my scorecard to be very good. I thought I hadn't really done enough to warrant a place in the top 3 anyway. Tux is going to square off against Paladin Bob now. I'm going to fast forward it a bit here because it is a bit boring. And what's happened here is Tux doesn't want Paladin Bob to get the kills on these archers, so he's just going to run them away. He doesn't want to commit them to melee because that's just more kills for Paladin Bob. He's just going to focus on using his cav here, and he's going in for the charge now. Again, these archers are running away. He's going for a charge with light cav, and then it's an instant rout on these Libyan spearmen and on these Sacred Band. He's charging in some heavy cav to try and capitalize on the distraction, but Paladin Bob seems to be, not very concerned. He's just going to walk this Sacred Band unit up. The slingers are going to keep shooting, and that is going to be a very, very quick mass rout on the Senate cav, and it looks like the Senate has no intention of prolonging the battle. He's happy with what he's got. He's got some nice kills, a lot of kills on the Macedonians, and a lot of kills on me, and very nice kills on Parthia as well. So he has a very, very good chance of winning this. Paladin Bob though has gotten some nice kills on the Parthians, and he's got some nice kills on the Senate, but the problem that he faced was that he was not able to chase them off since he had no cavalry left, and that's really cost him. He could probably have doubled his kills if he had a decent unit of light cav left to chase things off with. So that's going to be the end of the game there. That's my last unit off the field. Just these remaining JongLi units going to run off the map. Paladin and Bob not chasing them, which I think is sort of a mistake. These slingers could still potentially get some shots into the back of these routing dudes. But yeah, that's the game. Again, a lot of kills here that Paladin Bob missed. As the last unit runs off here, the scorecard should just pop up. And surprisingly, I was able to take the win. Now, the explanation for this is actually very, very confusing. I have killed 1,174 people, while Tux killed 2,484, which is more than double the kills I have, and that's insane. So I fully expected Tux to win. I mean, he was in a great position. He had destroyed the entire Macedonian army, destroyed the remnants of my army, destroyed the remnants of DMX. It was, almost guaranteed I thought that he would win, but somehow I managed to take the victory. And I think this is mainly because I killed so many high quality units. So what happened was I chased every single unit I could of the JongLi out. Like, I killed them before they could get off the map, and that you can see that in the result. They only have 19 men remaining, so I really did a number on the JongLi. Um, like I tried really hard to get every single kill I possibly could. Probably these 19 guys are just cav units. Um, for paladinbob, he has 643 men remaining. Obviously, he was last man standing, so congratulations to him. But 691 kills, coming in fourth. So unfortunate for him there that he just didn't get enough kills. He just wasn't able to chase off those units, and that really cost him quite a bit there. DMX coming in fifth. Even though he had more kills than paladinbob, this is because again paladinbob had a lot more quality kills, whereas DMX, a lot of his kills were just on cheap, slinger units, maybe one or two cheap infantry units, and things like that. So he didn't get as many kills. He didn't get as much score as a paladinbob, and that's why paladinbob is above him in score. Son of Hanni not getting many kills, coming in last because most of his kills were on the urbans, which are very good quality kills, but he had built his army for a last man standing kind of situation, so that's understandable. The Outlier getting 600 kills, all of them on me, of course. A lot of my units are very good quality, so even though he got less kills than paladinbob, he's still ranked above him, which is very surprising, and that's because the quality of my cataphracts was very high, and the quality of my heavy spearmen was also very heavily upgraded. They were, I believe, silver gold or gold silver. My cataphracts were gold, so those were very high priority targets as well. Also getting those kills on Tux's routing units helped. Tux had a few urbans that had routed. There weren't tons of men in the units, but those kills definitely helped with my score. And I think the reason Tux, even though he got double my score, still did not manage to crack rank 1 was, again, because he didn't chase. If he chased my units, I think he would definitely have broken rank 1, and the scorecards can sometimes be quite deceiving because a lot of the time it feels like whoever gets the most kills should win, but sometimes that is just not the case, especially when you have such different armies. I went for a very high quality army, Son of Hanni went for a very quantity heavy army, and it can be deceiving when you feel like you have a ton of kills and you should win, but you feel robbed when you don't. So very well played to everyone there. It was a very very tense game for me because I genuinely thought I would not win, and it was a very big surprise to me when the scorecard appeared and I was rank 1 somehow. So I just thought I'd try to explain it in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will hopefully see you next time.